Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Hello and welcome into Armada Kickoff. Things are suddenly getting interesting for the Armada's chase for the postseason. Jacksonville took all 6 points this past week, including a clutch performance on Saturday at Community First Park. We'll have the highlights.
And one of the reasons for the recent success is Jaime Castrillon, who scored his first goal as a member of the Armada last Wednesday, then followed it up with a second goal on Saturday. We'll talk to the Colombian midfielder about his recent success.
And we'll have Andy Kidd and Bob Veal joining us on the Analyst Roundtable, but we start with the action on Saturday night. When the spring season started, the Armada looked like a team just a few tweaks away from contending for a title. But injuries and suspensions and uneven play changed the expectations of the year. A week and a half ago, the Armada were at the bottom of the NASL table. But after a 3-0 win over Carolina, the Armada had the chance to climb right back into contention against the Silverbacks, a team that had won 4 points from the Armada in 2 meetings in Atlanta. But this time, the match was here on the First Coast. JFC night at Community First Park, also Girl Scout night, big crowd to watch the Armada take on the Silverbacks. And early on, you could see that the pace of the Armada was going to be something that the Silverbacks were going to have a hard time handling. Here, Akil Barrett on the runout, got a left foot on it but couldn't sneak it by. Still, pressure coming from the Armada, and it continued. Pascal Million had his motor running all match long. Look at this, gets spilled near the corner flag, gets back up, gets back to it, centers a pass, and creates another opportunity for the Armada. Million was going 100 miles an hour. He was involved here again. As the ball gets headed out, Million comes to it, and the Haitian national finds Sean Nicklaw. Then the centering pass here. And watch the quick reaction from Jaime Castrillon, his second goal in as many matches for the Armada. The veteran just camping out and puts it in to make it a 1-0 Armada lead in the 41st minute. Second half now, the Armada trying to hold on to this lead, and there were some tense moments. This direct kick went all the way through. David Sierra is one of a number of players who had cramping issues throughout the course of the match. It was a hot and muggy evening. Sierra, though, played very, very well once again. Nick Perea came on as a replacement and drew the PK, and this looked like it would make it a 2-0 Armada lead, but Trejo tries to chip the keeper, and Stuart Zeus able to grab it and keep it as a 1-0 Armada lead. Late in the contest, stoppage time, and look at this opportunity for Mohamed Ishihaka, but he doesn't get to it. The Armada hang on to the victory, 1-0 over the Atlanta Silverbacks. David Sierra records his third straight clean sheet personally, and Jacksonville picks up all 6 points during the course of the week. Celebrating at Community First Park, Mark Frisch's squad is right back in the thick of things.
We've come out here to get a result tonight and get the 3 points to put us back in contention for the playoffs, and we've done a fantastic job. I mean, I'm proud of the boys tonight. We've worked so hard, and that's what we set out to do, so very happy, yeah.
It's more for our momentum, you know, we needed that. We needed 2 back-to-back wins and then just keep riding this wave, and hopefully we do that.
Like I said, if you give 110%, it's going to happen. You know, it's not magical. It's not, you know, it's all about the hard work. Everybody do the part, and then the coaches tell us what to do, and we follow the game plan, and we get it done.
Take a look at the numbers from Saturday night, and they're very similar. The Armada, a small edge in terms of shots, both sides with 2 shots on goal. Small edge to the Armada for corner kicks. This was a game of small edges by and large. Possession was pretty dramatic for the Armada. This could have been a very different looking final scoreline had Trejo connected on the PK, but as it stands, the Armada get the victory. First time they've ever beaten the Silverbacks in 3 meetings.
The fair and fair man of the match last week went to Argentinian defender Fabricio Ortiz. 25-year-old Ortiz joined the Armada as the 3rd signee and has since grown to be a tremendous part of the Armada defense. During the match against the Atlanta Silverbacks, Ortiz was key in stopping a lot of close calls, even sliding twice in this play to stop a Silverbacks forward from getting too close. Ortiz has started in 16 matches so far, and this marks his first man of the match mention. The Armada hit the road this weekend with a match in San Antonio. They are back at home the following weekend on August 29th for military appreciation against San Antonio Scorpion again, and then they are away for 2 straight weekends with matches in Indy and New York. Athletes can go to great lengths to gain advantage. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's psychological, and sometimes it's even motivational. One of the veterans on the team has been trying to urge on his squad, and it's about time the motivation paid off.
This is Armada captain and midfielder Marcos Flores. During the spring season, he started growing his beard, telling his teammates he wouldn't shave it off until the Armada won on the road, then a draw in New York, losses in Ottawa, Atlanta, and Minnesota, and a near chance in Tampa Bay. But the beard kept growing.
It's scary. I feel bad for his girlfriend.
That she don't like. She's not cooking anymore, not making the bed anymore. She's telling me to do it. So
this week, as the Armada head to San Antonio to take on the Scorpions, the hope is the Armada will get their first road victory. Flores can shave the beard, and everybody will be happy.
So that's really the main objective of us going over there is Marcos finally getting to shave that thing off. Thankfully, I don't have to kiss him, but the other Argentinians do, which is a tradition that they have.
we need to have that win because that is a promise. I promised like 5-6 weeks ago that I will not shave until we win away. So we got an opportunity right now.
The fact that he's doing that, it shows support for the team. It shows that he's a team player. It shows that a guy that's committed, whether if he's playing or not, it's a guy that's committed fully to the team. And we want to go out there and win 3 points, but most importantly, get Marcos' beard off.
Yeah, I think everybody is ready to see Marcos Flores get that thing off his face, not the least of which being Marcos at this point. Armada midfielder Jaime Castrillon came onto the team, having missed most of the 2013 and 2014 years due to a knee injury. But after leading in goals for the Colorado Rapids, it was only a matter of time before we could start doing the same thing for the Armada.
There's no doubt that the Armada as a team had a stellar performance last weekend, earning back-to-back victories at home. But individually, midfielder Jaime Castrillon played two of his best matches yet.
La verdad que muy contento por lo positivo de toda esa semana. Lo más creo que primordial de todo fue que el equipo logró ganar 2 partidos seguidos. Se me dio la oportunidad después de tanto tiempo de volver a anotar. Ahora 2 goles seguidos, creo que muy positivo para mí, para el grupo, muy contento.
Castrillon helped his team win both matches, which earned him NASL Player of the Week for the first time this year.
Tener la posibilidad de ser elegido el jugador de la semana para la NASL, creo que es algo que lo motiva a uno a seguir trabajando, a seguir luchando. Sabemos que hay muchas cosas más por delante, que no hemos ganado nada, pero creo que los buenos resultados nos motivan a seguir trabajando para lograr los objetivos claros que tenemos, que es estar en las finales para pelear el título.
And the playoffs seem more attainable now than ever before. But first, the Armada must win on the road, something they have yet to accomplish.
No hemos podido lograr los mejores resultados de visitante, pero creo que con estos 2 partidos que logramos ganar, logramos hacer las cosas bien. Vamos con muchas ganas de traer los 3 puntos, sabiendo que también San Antonio es uno de los rivales difíciles de la liga, es el último campeón, así que está en su casa, para ellos quieren seguir sumando puntos, porque también no se quieren quedar por fuera, todavía falta mucho campeonato, y nosotros por parte trabajar, sabemos que no va a ser un partido fácil, pero vamos muy motivados para conseguir ese tan anhelado victoria visitante.
Saturday, the Armada traveled to San Antonio to face the Scorpions. Back in May, the Armada beat San Antonio 2-1 in a thrilling finish as Keita scored in stoppage time. Now let's take a closer look at this week's opponent. The Scorpions have been an up-and-down squad this year, despite the fact that they have the league's leading goal scorer, Omar Cummings, and one of the top assist men in the league, Billy Forbes. They still have not been able to string together enough points. They have been scoring a lot of goals, but often in losses. They've won only once in the fall season, sit at the bottom of the NASL's fall table, and are looking for their first victory away from home in the fall. That being said, they're a high-potency attack and a team with players who have won championships in the past, and they're not to be trifled with. The Armada will face San Antonio each of the next 2 Saturdays, trying to find a way to crawl further up the NASL's table. If Jacksonville can handle the last-place team, they would be in great shape to make a push for the postseason in the final 2 months of the 2015 year.
The Fall Season 5 pack is the best way to pick and choose what matches to attend. Pick 5 home matches of your choice, whichever suits your schedule best, for as low as $60 per pack.
And coming up next, the NASL postseason race gets tighter. We have the highlights as we go around the North American Soccer League.
And Bob Veal joins us for Bob's Boot Room. Stick around, we're just getting started here on Armada Kickoff.
To enter for your chance to participate in the Winn-Dixie Bubble Battle, visit your nearest Winn-Dixie in your Armada gear, take a selfie, and post it to any of the Armada social media using the hashtag WinnDixieBB. 2 winners will be selected every Wednesday during a home match week. Assemble a team of 3, and you're ready for battle.
A chance at a record was turned aside this past week, and teams are bunching up on the doorstep of postseason contention. Let's go around the North American Soccer League.
Let's start with the Cosmos hosting San Antonio. It's 1-1. Cosmos take the lead. 2 minutes into the second half, an own goal by Scorpions defender Brad Russin from Hunter Freeman's free kick. The Armada will see the Scorpions coming off a 2-1 loss to the Cosmos. Minnesota United, Ottawa Fury. Nearly 7,000 looking on in Ottawa as the Fury tried to tie a modern-day NASL record, keeping their run at 13 unbeaten, but it was not to be. Daniel Mendez ending Ottawa's unbeaten run with a free kick in stoppage time. 2-1, Minnesota United beats the Ottawa Fury. Strikers and Tampa Bay Rowdies in a Coastal Cup matchup. Stefano Pino scoring his 8th goal of the year. 2-1, Strikers up in Tampa Bay. Offensive explosion by FC Edmonton. Second straight match at Carolina shutout 3-0. Tony Amiobi, Lance Lang, and then Dustin Correa scoring for FC Edmonton. 3-0, the shutout turned in by the Eddies. Finally, Wednesday, Indy 11 hosting Tampa Bay. Indy hadn't led in over a month until Dane Richards connects. Indy goes on to a 2-0 victory.
Take a look at the standings as of the moment. New York Cosmos, who won the spring season, now back on top of the overall standings. Ottawa Fury lead the fall table. Those 2 sides, if the season ended today, would be in the postseason, as would the teams with the 2 best overall records behind them. Right now, that's Minnesota United and the Tampa Bay Rowdies, who fell to Indy on Wednesday this week. And it's interesting to look at the second page of the standings. Right now, there are 6 teams within 5 points of the final playoff spot, including the Armada. The Armada right now with an NASL best 2-game winning streak going. If they can pick up another couple of victories over the next few weeks, they will be definitely a force to contend with in the NASL postseason race. Now let's head to Bob's Boot Room, presented by Nike. Here are Bob Veal and Krissty Andaur.
Thank you, Cole. Bob, the Armada coming off back-to-back wins and a great performance by Pascal Million.
Yeah, Pascal worked really hard. Let me show you. He worked in this half of the field for the first half, going that way, and that is an 80-yard stretch there, 80 yards, and he ran up and down, and then in the second half he went this one, another 80 yards. So let's
non-stop.
Non-stop.
Let's take a look
at what he did on some of the clips. Here is Nick Law in a little bit of trouble here, and there's Pascal to come behind him and head it out. This is an attack. Nick Law again, who played really high by Pascal.
This play is amazing.
Look at it. He takes the ball down. Not a great first touch.
He gets
but
down.
Gets into that player. He falls over, gets back up, and beats the defender. Puts a great cross in there. This is a defensive move. Look where he is now. That's Pascal running to the ball, and he's right in his own third, just outside, makes a tackle, and then starts another attack, which is countering from his own 18-yard box. This is another one. Out it goes.
Jaime clears it.
Jaime clears it. And
there's Pascal.
There's Pascal to pick it up on the 18-yard box here, making at least 50 yards run here, and still looking for a player and getting it into play. And then Pascal tracks back. Here you see him again on the far side, second half now, so he's getting a little bit weary. But no, he's back there in his third, just outside the 18-yard box, shielding this ball so it goes out of play. And the last one, in the 90th minute.
Amazing.
He's been running all game, shrugs off a defender, runs through 2 more.
And look, he
gets
just lays
fouled.
there. He is so tired.
He is so tired then. And what a great game he had.
Absolutely. And hopefully the Armada can see the same performance, I have no doubt, this Saturday against San Antonio.
Let's hope.
Thanks, Bob. The Armada are away again, like I just mentioned, in San Antonio tomorrow night. Cole?
Thanks, Krissty. Coming up, the Analyst Roundtable. What's changed for the Armada over the past couple of weeks? We'll discuss. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
The Armada Social Rewards program is a great way to stay connected with the team via social media. Just go online at armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, and start earning free gifts. Like, tweet, tag, and start earning those tokens. Each week we pick a random winner, and congratulations to Michael Morris. You've won 2 tickets to the San Antonio Scorpion match on August 29th. And now let's head over to the Roundtable presented by Subway. Cole?
You can switch around and we're going to be very strong.
We saw a lot of different players, a lot of different lineups.
All right, thank you, Krissty. We're here on the Analyst Roundtable, and Andy Kidd, and who are you, sir?
Yes, Bob Veal.
Look at this! Bob makes a return appearance on the Roundtable. All right, Bob, let's start with you. Are the Armada now postseason contenders?
Well, having seen Leicester City last year in the EPL at Christmas time, January, 16 games to go, they were dead and buried, and they managed to stay in the EPL. So yes, they are. Why? Because they're playing the best soccer in the NASL at the moment, from defense to midfield and midfield forward.
Andy?
Yeah, I mean, they're only 4 points out of a playoff spot right now. You know, I think Armada at 22 and the 4th place is at 26. You know, and plenty of games to go. And Armada, like you said, they're peaking at the right time, Bob. And, you know, I don't want to get too far ahead of us, but you've got FC Edmonton back-to-back games at the end of the year, which could loom huge for the playoff implications because they're ahead of the Armada right now.
What's been the big change, the big key for the Armada in this transition?
There's been several. They're not letting in early goals right now. They're playing a little bit safer out of the back, and they're finding ways to close out games that they're ahead in. They're not giving up those late goals that take you from 3 points to a point or from a point to 0 points. So I think those have been huge adjustments.
Yeah, I think they're covering the midfield well. Their engine room, the midfield's playing very well, and they're cutting out the breaks, the fast breaks.
You talk about in the midfield, Jaime Castrillon, a big part of what's happening there. A couple of goals. He had gone the entire season without scoring for the Armada. I think the expectation was that he would be one of those guys who would score half a dozen goals this year, something like that, maybe more. He's finally starting to find the rhythm.
Yeah, given his pedigree, we thought when he first came, he looked really good. Then he got an injury, went out. I didn't think he played too well for 2 or 3 months, and now he's coming back into it. He's winning balls in the midfield, making great passes, finding players, but getting into the box and scoring.
Yeah, Andy, you mentioned about how he framed the goal. He just waited there for it and played it so well.
Yeah, and he's a veteran. He was showing glimpses at the end of the spring season, and I remember that Cosmos game. You know, he stood out to me that he was now becoming a two-way midfielder. Yeah. He wasn't just a holding defensive midfielder, but he was getting into the attack more. And you started seeing him have a presence. And he had a couple of games here in the beginning of the fall where he almost scored. He was close, and he's starting to knock on the door. You know, and having an extra weapon in the box, especially somebody with a little bit of height, has really helped.
Both Marcos Flores and Matt Boehner, we keep talking about, but this could be the week they return. Yeah. What do you do?
I think the Armada are better when they're in the lineup. And maybe you don't play them 90 minutes right out the gate because they've been out for so long, but a healthy Matt Boehner and a healthy Marcos Flores, I think, make the Armada better.
Yeah, I agree. Boehner, I think, is easy to fit in. Perhaps Toby drops out, Boehner goes into that back four. That's the easy one. What do you do up front? You've got to kill Barrett, running at defences, causing problems, scoring goals. And so now you're going to put him in. But Flores, I agree with you, Andy. I think give him 40 minutes, 45 minutes just to test his fitness and then bring in a Cal.
Yeah. Andy Kidd, Bob Veal, thanks so much.
Thank you, Cole.
Coming up, the big week for the Armada resulted in some changes. We'll explain as we jump ahead into the Twitterverse. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
The The Armada are back at Community First Park on August 29th against the San Antonio Scorpions, and it's Military Appreciation Night. You can donate a ticket to the USO, and you even have the first chance to buy one of these 3 t-shirts. Be a part of Boehner's Battalion, Miguel's Militia, which kind of has that skull, I like that, or Keita's Commandos with the Kraken. Such a tough decision there. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. It's time to dive into the social media world to see what Armada players and fans were up to this week. Armada Club President Steve Livingstone tweeted this after the Atlanta Silverbacks match. Great victory for everyone associated with the Armada, especially for owner Mark Frisch and our boys in blue. Mary Instagrams this photo saying how awesome her night was at Community First Park. Ponte Vedra Storm Soccer Club tweeted this photo earlier this week of the Armada at their training facilities and signing autographs afterwards. Midfielder Jaime Castrillon tweeted out this in Spanish earlier this week after winning the NASL Player of the Week. Thank you to all of my teammates, 6 points, and we are still looking for more. And not only did an Armada player get NASL Player of the Week, but 3 were named to the NASL Team of the Week this past week. Look a little closer. David Sierra, Jaime Castrillon, and Fabricio Ortiz all made the Team of the Week. Cole, a great way for the Armada to get started into the San Antonio weekend match.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Back-to-back matches coming against San Antonio. That's going to be a huge opportunity for the Armada to really work their way forward into the postseason. Everything is better when you win, and here are some more examples. As a matter of fact, this week, members of the flagship fleet, the Armada's volunteer organization, got to meet and have lunch with some of the Armada players. Fabricio Ortiz, Miguel Gallardo, Pascal Millian, and Keita spent some time with the top point earners from the fleet. As for the younger set, we put a GoPro on one of the McDonald's mascots, the kids who walk the players out onto the field. This is an opportunity that's available for kids when large groups of tickets are purchased. You get the latest on the Armada online at armadafc.com and on radio, the Armada Soccer Show, Fridays at 3 on Sports Radio 930. You can also hear the Armada Monday podcast every Monday after a game with Bob Veal and me on armadafc.com.
We'll have coverage of the Armada and San Antonio Scorpions Saturday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on CW17. Kickoff at 8:30 from San Antonio. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Krissty Andaur.
And I'm Cole Pepper. See you next time.